Every year, thousands of families in India wake up to the same nightmare: a loved one gone missing without a trace. Unfortunately for many, the wait never ends. Recently, the Supreme Court of India acknowledged the seriousness of this growing crisis. During a public interest case concerning missing and trafficked children, the court noted that a major obstacle in their recovery is the lack of coordination among states. A bench of Justice B.V. Nagaratna and Justice R. Mahadevan suggested that the Union Ministry of Home Affairs should set up a common dedicated portal to trace kidnapped or trafficked children, one that connects every state and union territory under a single system. The court said a child trafficked from one state could be from persons who are residents of another state, and the trafficking could occur from a third state in another zone and sometimes even to overseas destinations. The idea is simple: a unified platform with a dedicated officer from each state so that every missing child can be traced faster before it's too late. But what exactly is the scale of this problem? Why do so many people, especially children and women, go missing in India each year? And what are the systems already in place to find them? If you are curious to explore these questions on your own, you can analyze the missing and traced persons datasets compiled by our team at Dataful. Sourced from the National Crime Records Bureau, these datasets are clean, structured, and ready to use, making the data analysis hassle-free. To download these datasets, click the link in the description. Now back to the story. India faces a persistent and alarming missing persons crisis. In 2023 alone, close to 8.7 lakh people were reported missing, a sharp rise from about 5.5 lakh in 2016. Yet, out of all the people who were reported missing in 2023, only a little over half, around 4.6 lakh people were traced. That's a recovery rate of barely 53%. Just 7 states, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Rajasthan, Odisha, and Tamil Nadu, together account for 2/3 of all missing persons in India. In other words, every 2 out of 3 missing people belong to these 7 states. Among these states, Tamil Nadu records the highest recovery rate at around 66%, while the other 6 states fail to even cross the 60% mark. Further, the gender gap among the missing persons is also striking. Out of the 8.7 lakh people reported missing in 2023, around 64% are female and 36% are male. Now, when we focus specifically on children, the picture becomes even more worrying. In 2023, about 1.4 lakh children were reported missing, of whom roughly 90,000 were recovered, resulting in a recovery rate of about 65%. That's better than the national average, but still far from reassuring. And here's the most disturbing part: 3 out of every 4 missing children are girls. As girls enter their teenage years, the risk rises sharply. Among children below 12, about half of those missing are girls. But in the age group of 12 to 16, nearly 3/4 are girls, and among those aged 16 to 18, more than 4/5 are girls. This shows that India's missing persons crisis is not just about numbers. It's about patterns of region, of gender, and of age. Which brings us to the next big question: why are so many people going missing in the first place? The issue of missing persons in India is complex and deeply rooted in our social and economic realities. At the social level, many disappearances are linked to domestic disputes, family pressure, and mental health issues. Children sometimes run away after being scolded by parents or due to stress related to studies. Women and young girls, on the other hand, often go missing because of marital conflict, abuse, or coercion. Economic factors play a big role too. In poorer communities, people, especially children, are more vulnerable to false promises of jobs, education, or marriage. These vulnerabilities are often exploited by human traffickers, who lure victims and transport them across states or even borders for forced labor or sexual exploitation. Human trafficking remains one of the biggest underlying causes of missing persons in India. States like West Bengal, Odisha, and Rajasthan, all located along major migration routes, have reported large numbers of missing girls, many of whom are later found to be trafficked. Despite government efforts, the conviction rate in trafficking cases remains low, and coordination between states is still weak. That's exactly what the Supreme Court highlighted. the need for a national level coordinated effort to trace missing persons. But it's not that India lacks systems. Over the year, the government has rolled out several programs combining law enforcement, technology, and rehabilitation. To deal with India's missing persons crisis, anti-human trafficking units have been set up across districts supported by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Campaigns like Operation Smile and Operation Muskan are conducted periodically to rescue missing children. In fact, these drives have helped recover tens of thousands of children across the country. Even the Railway Protection Force has launched Operation Ahat to track down on trafficking networks and Operation Nanhe Farishte to rescue children found on trains and stations. Several digital tools have also been developed. The TrackChild portal serves as a national database for missing and recovered children. Similarly, the Ghar portal by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights helps monitor the restoration and rehabilitation of rescued children. In addition to these, there is the Mission Vatsalya scheme, which provides care and shelter for children in distress through childcare institutions. Despite all these efforts, challenges still remain in the form of poor coordination between states, slow investigations, and gaps in data integration. That's why the Supreme Court's proposal for a unified national portal could be a turning point if implemented effectively. Further, India's fight against human trafficking also extends beyond its borders. The country is a signatory to several major international agreements, including the UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime and the Protocol to Prevent, Suppress and Punish Trafficking in Persons, also known as the Palermo Protocol. India has also signed the SAARC Convention on Prevention and Combating Trafficking in Women and Children, along with bilateral agreements with countries like Bangladesh, UAE, and Cambodia to strengthen cooperation on trafficking cases. These global commitments have shaped India's domestic laws too. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, which replaces the old IPC, includes new sections specifically targeting organized crime and human trafficking. Schemes like Mission Shakti, Ujjawala, and Mission Vatsalya align with these international obligations, focusing on prevention, rescue, and rehabilitation. But even with strong laws, the success depends on how efficiently information flows between agencies, and that's where technology, data, and interstate coordination will make all the difference. Therefore, a unified national portal under the Ministry of Home Affairs could help build a single source of truth linking police stations, shelters, and families. But technology alone won't be enough. It must be supported by sensitive policing, community awareness, and faster data sharing across borders. So, what do you think? What more could be done to ensure no person goes missing in our country? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Research for this story is powered by GoPy and Tagore.ai. To know more, click on the related links in the description.